Alright, we are recording. Hey, what's up, guys? It is K-Rad here. I'm back with another good video for y'all today. Shout out to the amazing Queen, Ashley's Corner. For those of you guys that want to check out more boxing content, please go check out Miss Beautiful Ashley's Corner on her YouTube page. I'm going to probably talk about some of these fights that could be happening. So the source is going to be coming from her. So please go check her out. And I will, give my take on it. So, yeah, let's talk about these three topics. I'm going to talk about Teofimo and Jose Zepeda and Edgar Berlanga and Steve Rolls and Tony YOKA and Hrgovic. So we'll just talk about YOKA and Hrgovic, and then Berlanga and Steve Rolls, which I have massive criticism for, and then, Lopez and Zepeda. Alright, so let's get right to it. Alright, so Tony YOKA and Filip Hrgovic could possibly be in the works next. For those of you that don't know, Tony YOKA, he is 11-0, I want to say, and I think Hrgovic, he's about 15-0. But for those of you that don't know, Filip Hrgovic was supposed to fight Luis King Kong Ortiz, and Luis King Kong Ortiz had recently stated that he does not want to take the fight against,
Yeah, if the IBF started fucking over the
Yeah, Luis Ortiz does not want to take the fight against Hrgovic because he was injured from the Charles Martin fight that he recently got a win over. And the biggest issue is just that, with Luis Ortiz, is that if he tries to make that fight within the next 3 months or so, then he's probably not going to be 100% ready. So I would assume that the IBF is working with him so that way he can be back inside the ring as soon as possible, as soon as his hand is fully healed. And I guess as far as like what was happening, within that mix was just that the IBF decided to go a different route by trying to offer the fight for the Hrgovic fight between him and I believe Joseph Parker, and for some weird reason Joseph Parker turned that fight down, which was very suspect. But that fight wasn't going to be made between him and Parker, so I guess Tony YOKA could be the final option if everything could go well. But the problem, with this is that Tony YOKA, he's never been put under any sanctioning body as far as what I know. But I guess if if YOKA, if he's available through the IBF and he could just take advantage of that fight between him and Hrgovic, then by all means go for it. The problem that I have with this is just that Hrgovic, if he beats YOKA or if YOKA beats Hrgovic, does the winner have to face Luis King Kong Ortiz? Because Luis Ortiz, he's going to have to be told by the IBF where he has to, face basically the winner of Hrgovic and YOKA. And it kind of seems like that the IBF is trying to screw over Luis Ortiz, because from what I thought was that Luis Ortiz and Charles Martin were going to fight for a IBF title eliminator mandatory position. So therefore, the IBF would mandate the next mandatory for the next fight for them to be put in line against the unified heavyweight champion that holds that belt, i.e. the winner between AJ and Usyk. So now it makes me think like either that Luis Ortiz, he's either being put in a difficult position where he has to fight the winner between Hrgovic and YOKA, and then the winner of that fight is automatically the mandatory to face, but the winner between AJ and Usyk. So I don't know. Like, to me, I think what the IBF is doing is a decent job, but at the same token, I just can't take their word for it because it's just like, like we've seen shit like this happen in the past, but at the end of the day, it's just like, uh like basically there's nothing that we can do to try to make things just and fair, and I will say that for Luis King Kong Ortiz to reach to any chance of winning a world title, it's definitely going to be like the hard route between, waiting for, whatchamacallit, the winner of Hrgovic and YOKA if that fight does get made. And as far as like the style matchup, I think this is a really, really difficult style matchup just simply because Tony Yoka, he's not like the same fighter coming out of like the amateurs. He doesn't really look to box. He actually just looks to try to, make things, really, how should I say, very, very ugly on the inside. And he only tries to, outbox you when he's able to have, decent stamina and decent, endurance in the fight. But I think Tony, he's just not that type of fighter, where, like we've really seen him in, really tough, positions in a fight. And I think between him and Hrgovic, I think this is going to be a highlight reel knockout where someone's going to, get put to sleep. I don't see this going the distance. And if it goes to the distance, it's going to be, multiple knockdowns. And I just don't see how that's that type of matchup would scale because both of these guys can hit. But as far as who is like the more deadlier puncher, I will give that to Filip Hrgovic because Hrgovic, he is a very deadly type of fighter. And I think just how he's been fighting and how he's able to put people, out. It's just like, Tony Yoka, he hasn't seen that type of fighter. Not yet, I would say. Just simply because, Hrgovic, he's been in there, with like decent level, opposition for, who's ever able to, get up inside let the ring with him. But at the same token, but the same can be said about Tony Yoka because Tony Yoka hasn't really been in there with any top guys. And, however, I guess we could see this, fight go down. It's just that, Yoka and Hrgovic haven't really gone to deep waters. So I think this fight is really going to be like the battle of who gets to slug more, because I don't see this ever being, a actual boxing match because none of them are pure boxers. They're just basically semi-brawler, brawler punchers. And like what I mean by that is just that, they're just really coming in there to bang with you. They're not coming in there to actually make things very technical. They don't really utilize any proper boxing ring IQ mechanics. They basically just stick to their one signature punch, and that's pretty much it. But I think this fight will be a really good fight, made by the IBF because the heavyweight division is really weak right now. Knowing that Deontay Wilder, he hasn't really made any proper decision on like what he wants to do. And I think how things have been going between Wilder is that, if Deontay Wilder does, ever plan to make a return, then that's what will make the heavyweight division, very exciting. And I think that's that's why the heavyweight division is good for what it is. And that's why Deontay Wilder, basically reanimated the heavyweight division. But as far as this style matchup goes, I think this is a great style matchup. I just hope that this fight can get made because Tony Yoka and Hrgovic are actually two good, up and coming heavyweights that could really, shake up the division. I don't think they're, actually that good to that level of a degree to beat a lot of, high known heavyweights. But then again, anything is possible because this is the heavyweight division. And, one punch could really, put somebody's lights out because, heavyweight boxing isn't really made to be technical. It's just made to be like two big, behemoth fighters, beating each other up. And then it just turns out to be pretty much like a shootout. But then on top of that, if you know how to box in the heavyweight division and you know how to be defensively responsible, then, like you could really slip and slide a lot of, difficult heavy punches that a lot of fighters, try to throw early game leading into a late game situation. But then on top of that, it is best to master the art of boxing to hit and not get hit. So I don't know. I think honestly, Hrgovic versus Tony Yoka is a great fight. I hope that fight can be ordered by the IBF if both parties can agree. And if that fight cannot happen, I would like to see these guys be put up against maybe Jared Big Baby Anderson, if that's a fight that could be made, because Jared Big Baby Anderson, he's probably going to be up next to take over the heavyweight division on top of maybe Stephen Shaw, and I'll probably say, Dakari Scott, and which I'll do a video on him. He's a really good fighter out of Georgia, if I'm not mistaken. I believe he's about 8-0 or 7-0, but definitely check him out. He's a really, really good, technically sound fighter. Very good on his feet. Has really, really good hand speed, similar to that of, how should I say? I will probably say maybe like a Chris, well, I want to say Chris Bird. I will say, Dakari Scott reminds me of I don't know. I don't want to kind of jump the gun on any big time heavyweights, but I will say Dakari Scott, he's definitely up there to be like a all-time legendary great. If anything, he kind of reminds me of like a Buster Douglas mixed with a little bit of maybe James Tillis and maybe a shade of Oliver McCall, but I really can't go there because I don't know how well he's going to scale. But definitely give him a follow. Dakari Scott is a tremendous fighter. And I think him and Stephen Shaw and Jared Big Baby Anderson are going to be the biggest, up and coming titans of the heavyweight division that's going to, definitely make a lot of noise. But yeah, be sure to check out Ashley's Corner. She's an amazing YouTuber, very educated on the sport of boxing, especially as a female boxing content creator. I definitely give my support out to her. She's a very educated person, and I just like hearing her talk. So please go support, that very intellectually sound woman. And yeah, that's about it. So yeah, I will see you guys later. Shout out to the mighty LDBC, and peace. And I'm out. Bye.